Walt Disney World is one of the happiest places on earth and one of my favorite places to visit, but not so happy for your wallet. In this video, I want to give you my top 5 tips and 5 things that are either free or cheap to entertain your infant or toddler. Let's get into it. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Jenny. I'm a certified teacher, doctoral student, and mom of 2 lovely girls, Alice, who is 18 months, and Mina, who is 2 months old. I am also an annual pass holder and have spent many moons at Walt Disney World. But I recently took my first trip with my girls, and I wanted to include in this video 5 different things that I searched out and found to keep costs down while still keeping the entertainment high. So cheap or free item number 1. Utilize the resort resources. For example, we stayed at Old Key West, which not only has a toddler pool, but it also has a playground and a sand playground. Alice had an excellent time, literally just running around the sand for an hour and a half. We also spent 2 hours in the toddler pool where she just ran in circles and had the time of her life. This did not cost us a park ticket, and she got lots of entertainment out of it. She not only met some extra friends that were also toddlers, but she just really enjoyed herself, and we had the luxury of being able to pop back to the room if we needed to pretty quickly. So whatever resort you're staying at, they probably have a pool if you're on Disney property, and they probably have some sort of green field or playground that you can entertain your kids with. I know specifically Art of Animation has an excellent pool and different movie-themed jungle gym type areas that you can take your kid to. I know they have one that looks really cool. I'll put a picture of it if I can find it. Okay, my second tip is to head to the Polynesian at night for the electrical water pageant. The electrical water pageant is in the lagoon around where the Magic Kingdom is. So any of the hotels that are along that lagoon, you'd be able to see, but I've seen it from the Polynesian myself, so I know for sure if you go out on the beach there, you can go at night, and they have a schedule of when it is, but it's basically these really cool parade floats that float in the lagoon that light up, and they're really neat at night, and they cost you nothing. You literally can just take the bus to one of those resorts, unless of course you're staying at them, but they are very expensive. So you could take the bus to one of those resorts, starting at Disney Springs or a park, and you can watch the electrical water pageant for free. I really like doing this if my little one will stay up long enough for it, because it is just a really pretty show, and occasionally you can actually catch the fireworks from Magic Kingdom in the background of the electrical water pageant as well. My third tip for something that is cheap or free at Walt Disney World is actually the Movie Under the Stars series. This is pretty much at every single resort that Disney owns, and they basically do movies out on some sort of lawn. Now, the best place to go, and you are allowed to go even if you're not staying there for the Movie Under the Stars, is at Disney's Fort Wilderness, and they do a Movie Under the Stars and a campfire, and you can pay basically to have a little s'more set and have your kids do some s'mores and watch a classic Disney movie. You'll have to check the programming when you get there to see which movies they're showing, but every resort does Movies Under the Stars. When we stayed at Old Key West, they had Movies Under the Stars. When we stayed at All Star Sports, they had Movies Under the Stars. So any of the resorts pretty much have movies for free that you can watch. You even could potentially bring a picnic. So if you wanted to go and bring something from your room or pick up food from the quick service restaurant at your resort, that is an excellent way to just have a fun night that doesn't cost any extra money that your kid would probably be very entertained by. Okay, my fourth tip is my favorite tip, and it is a little known secret, and if you don't know about this, then I am so excited to tell you, because when I found out about it, it blew my mind. If you'd like to see the Animal Kingdom animals and don't have the budget to go to Animal Kingdom, you can actually go to Animal Kingdom Lodge, and off of the lobby they have a viewing deck of the savannah. Even more cool than that is if you actually go to the concierge, you can ask for an animal guide, and they will give you a piece of paper for your little one to know which animals are out there. And maybe you could play a game of like a scavenger hunt, hunting for those animals out on the savannah. So you don't necessarily have to have a Savannah View room to be able to see those Animal Kingdom Lodge animals. It is a great place to go and spend some time just looking at the animals and enjoying the view. If you're trying to get to Animal Kingdom Lodge, you can do so from Disney Springs or from any of the parks. Now remember, you can literally take a bus from your resort to the parks and then just jump on an Animal Kingdom Lodge bus. Unfortunately, you don't have buses in between the hotels, but still, it is well worth a trip over there. It is a beautiful resort and you can see animals for free. My final free or cheap tip for you is actually Disney Springs. And there's a couple of things I want to mention at Disney Springs. Obviously, that's the big obvious one because Disney Springs, you can park there, it doesn't cost money. But I want to tell you my favorite things that are free to do at Disney Springs with an infant or a toddler. So the first thing that is low cost that you can do with an infant or a toddler is the carousel. They have a carousel there and it is $3 to get on board the carousel and let your little one ride around. So it's basically the joy of having a ride without the cost of having to pay to go ride the carousel at Magic Kingdom. Something else that's a great thing to do if you are going to Disney Springs is to check out whatever it is that's going on at the stage. Sometimes it is high school bands, sometimes it is cheerleading competitions. They always have some sort of music there, and if your little one likes music, it could be very fun for them to basically hang out at the amphitheater area, which is in the marketplace section of Disney Springs, and just enjoy some music. Maybe get a churro and you can hang out and enjoy the music with your little ones. Something else that is free to do, but usually there is a line, is the Lego store. So the Lego store, kids can actually build this for older toddlers. Kids can build a Lego car and have Lego races without having to buy it, which is really nice because that way they can be entertained and maybe you get all of their interest in Legos out before spending the $20 on a set that's this big. Not that I don't love Legos, but they are pricey. The last thing I wanted to mention at Disney Springs that is another free thing to do is the splash pad. They have several splash pads there. Now, it's seasonal depending on when it is that they're actually open, but you could dress your little one in a rash guard and take them over to the splash pad to be entertained for a little while there. Similar to Disney Springs, and I'm not going to make it its own category, but I did want to mention it too, is actually the boardwalk. So you can take a bus or a boat to the boardwalk and walk the boardwalk and have some fun over there. They have tandem bikes you can rent. They have little carnival games, lots of different restaurants and shops. And of course, right across the water from the boardwalk is Beaches and Cream Ice Cream Shop, which is a very delicious place. And they have a walk-up side. So even if you don't have a reservation, you can go to the walk-up side and maybe get some ice cream and just hang out at the boardwalk. So that is my last free or cheap tip for you. Do you have any free or cheap things you enjoy doing with your infant or toddler when you are at Walt Disney World? I would love to know. I also would love to know if you take advantage of any of these that I have mentioned because they are awesome and I highly recommend them. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. I do all sorts of parenting, Disney, new mom, and education content, and I would love to have you along for the ride. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.